So I don't know that you entirely agree with Simone, but for me, this felt like a family reunion or maybe a genetics dance party. And it's wonderful to see old and make new friends and learn so much in one day. We can have the next slide. We asked you a lot of questions today. You participated in breakout groups, and I think we have up for the take-homes.
Is this the slide you'd like, Joann, or do you want me to advance the slide?
Yeah, go ahead and advance. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So how will you use the conversations we had today to change the way you engage communities in your work?
So for this, we'll use a Mentimeter as we've used before. So there should be a Mentimeter link in chat so that you can anonymously share your responses and they'll live on in posterity. And in a moment, Erica will share those results as they come up on the screen. So you can respond to those, Joann.
Yeah. I like it. Start conversations. Be a better advocate. Hopefully got some tools today to think about that. Increase awareness, be more aware of how others are and can be included. And again, the engagement before planning. I've just been in the middle of some community review work around planning grants ahead of time, but working with the community, not doing that as a last minute, I need a letter of support. Advocating for equity, being humble and curious, taking a more critical eye of translated handouts, thinking really about, again, even different versions of what we consider sometimes one language that, again, more than one language. Ask who else needs to be in the room, or as I sometimes say, who's missing at the table. And again, always think of keeping simpler language. Why don't we go ahead? Thank you for these responses and keep thinking about this question here. Again, thanks. And let's go on then to the, we're going to again ask for your feedback in a variety of ways in this little session. At closing, we'll review briefly some of the CEU, CME info, and then take a little ahead to day 2. So again, we like feedback. There's a link in the chat for a short survey. You can do as I talk or before you leave today. The CME and the CEUs require a separate evaluation. And again, that can only be done at the end of the sessions. But again, if you want to make notes as you go, there is a PDF available at the address here. Next slide. I'm not going to read this. Although this is the reminder about getting CEUs, but you have this in multiple places on the initial web page links, as well as, again, this is open to questions. Again, NYMAC is pleased to offer CEUs for just $10. Again, you have to keep a track record that it adds up to the potential 8.75 category 1 credits. Next slide, please. All right, for those getting CME, next slide. Again, this is a process we coordinate through NCC, the KCMG, and are grateful for them. Again, the same up to 8.75 credits. You have to complete the evaluation forms. And again, we have worked over this carefully to be free of bias. Next slide. So again, you have to do this in a short period of time, the next 2 weeks, to obtain the credits. Next slide. Again, ACMG is providing these credits, and the full details in the brochure, again, on the website, also gives details, and all this is available if you've done your looking through the materials already presented. Next slide. So again, I want to thank all of you. We're still over 100 people, which is great. We had over 200 at a couple of points during the day. I really appreciate you being here and your contributions to one another, to us at NYMAC. We're grateful for the work and wisdom. Again, whether a few deep breaths, a little meditation now, or at some point, if the rest of the evening goes on. And again, we will have a session for continuing conversation for those who still have things they'd like to say or participate. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Next slide. That agenda, again, you have. Michelle will kick off the morning. We'll hear a little bit more in detail about telegenetics and really a focus over the day of other ways to think about patient and laboratory test delivery from undiagnosed to ways to integrate genetics in primary care, and then some additional discussion of difficult cases and evaluation, and wrapping up with putting into practice facilitating planning for meaningful change. We also will have the exhibit on call tomorrow. So I think we have a thank you slide. Is that right? Next slide. Or maybe it's page 2. All right, we have a question in the chat. Maybe could I receive a CEO evaluation after the sessions? I think it does come after this, not correct, Melissa? I think Alyssa's there. We'll answer in the chat for everyone, okay? So here again is tomorrow afternoon session. Again, next slide, Fred.
Oh, let me pull this back up.
Want to pull up the CEUs, or what are you pulling up? I'm sorry.
Well, this is the agenda, and then I think that was it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, I didn't know if Alyssa was there. We could just put, yeah, it's posted at the end of the day tomorrow. So thank you all. Again, Erica will facilitate. Okay, we have a question in the chat here. So the survey that was just sent out, I think, is the survey to NYMAC and all. And then the CEU survey, Alyssa's indicating here. Maybe Alyssa, do you want to speak?
Yeah. So the general survey that Fred just shared is for anyone to give feedback at any time. So maybe you're only here today and you're not able to come tomorrow. We still want to hear from you. So that general survey you see in the chat, if you know you're not going to be here tomorrow, or you have something you really want to say today, please feel free to use it. The CEU and the CME evaluations, we will make available. They're in SurveyMonkey, so we can't do it until the whole meeting's over, but I can send you a PDF version of them if you want to just be able to follow along, because I know for all of us, it's a lot of questions at the end of a 2-day conference. So send me your email if you would like a PDF of the CEU or the CME survey. And if you have anything generally unrelated to CME or CEUs that you want to put in the general feedback, you can do that with the link that Fred shared.
Right. I think our thank you slide is tomorrow. So you've got to come back to get thanked. No, I'm teasing. And also, again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat, and we hope to see you tomorrow.